Okay, so let me introduce you to this incredible woman, because when we started to talk, Desi, if you can unmute her, that would be great. You're looking for Suzette there. Um, or unless, are you muted, Suzette? And we are, there you go, perfect. Okay, so Suzette Laqua, and I'm going to be reading a little bit from my phone because we've added a few things that we felt that you should know today. But she is an executive producer in film and television. She is the founder of the International Vancouver Web Fest, which launched in 2013, the first of its kind. An incredible festival, an incredible conference. She is presently, and I'm going to go here, her current productions that she's working on, and lucky us, this one is in Vancouver. If any of you are familiar with the Stan Lee movies, I'm sure you are. She is executive producing on Werewolf, co-producing that film in Vancouver, currently in talks with lead actors, and she is thrilled to bring Stan Lee's imagination to life. She is also working on a beautiful drama based on a true story called Embers that is working with 3 amazing women, 2 in Chicago and 1 in Florida. It is about a mom placed in an upscale senior's home, but it's filmed with this outgoing old folk personality, nothing like what you see in TV commercials or advertisements, and it is funny, and it is heartfelt, and it is real, and it is a story about finding humor and connection in unexpected places. As well, she is working on Like Nobody's Watching. Well, there you go. And it's a series. It's filmed in Toronto and India. How incredible. She's collaborating with Owner, which is an award-winning filmmaker from Mumbai, and his company, Anti-Clock Films, and an amazing team out of Toronto, which is a cross-culture story celebrating, oh my goodness, creativity, courage, and connection. That is 4 seasons, one right after the other. I was like, da 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 da. Welcome to the 262 stage. Thank you so much for coming to share with us today. I know that the thing that you may not know about her, one of the things that we found was that she met Fonzie. So she met Fonzie. That was something that you may not know about her. The music that she's loving is Elvis, Always on My Mind. It's also been done by Dobie Gray and the remakes. I'm sure you'll correct me on that. She's actually giving a beautiful gift today for someone, which is a private conversation, private mini chat with her if you'd like. And that is for our one big winner. And she's going to talk about that your dreams can have a plot twist. This woman knows plot twists in and out of her work and in and out of her personal life, and she's going to share some of that today. So, Suzette, welcome to the 262 stage.
Well, hello. So, first of all, I just want to say everything I've seen, I've been here since yesterday's start till the end, and then this morning, and I'll be here till the end. Everybody's amazing, inspiring. The stories have been absolutely phenomenal. You learn from everybody, like absolutely. And I'm a big, huge believer of dreams come true. Follow your heart and believe what you want to believe and continue to follow your dreams. And that's what happened with me. And one of the things that I believed in is that sometimes our paths always take a different journey, and that's what happened with me. So with what you've shared with everybody, which it's like I'm definitely having a lot of fun now, and I've had fun. Trust me, my life has been filled with interesting paths and journeys and hiccups. And one of my favorite things is, of course, with the hiccups. Everybody has hiccups. My personal thing to have with the hiccups is to have peanut butter, just saying. So I am a peanut butter believer. But to be honest, with what I'm working on, which thank you for sharing, the projects are absolutely amazing. With the Vancouver Web Fest, it did get put on hold in 2019. 2018 was my last year, and what had started with what was absolutely amazing was we ended up becoming one of the top festivals around the world, and that we were the first in Canada and the 3rd in the world when I started it. And what ended up happening was in the 2018 year, I had my first blackout, and we weren't sure what it was. And unfortunately, the neurologist here in Vancouver had said that I was epileptic, and he started to give me medication for seizures, and without sending me for an MRI. And what was unfortunate about that was, if you're not epileptic, you shouldn't be on medication. And what I had fought it because I didn't think I was epileptic, and I had begged him for an MRI based on an incident that had happened to me 20 years ago with a major car accident. And I'd gone back in the day when we didn't have seatbelts. I'd gone through the windshield, and I'd had a buildup of a scar tissue. So I'd done my homework, and just to shut me up, he had sent me for an MRI. And unfortunately, the MRI people aren't allowed to tell you what they see, but they said you'll hear 24 to 48 hours from your doctor. And he never called me back. So 10 days later, I called his office, and the girl had said, oh yeah, the doctor's in. And a couple minutes later, she came back, she said, oh, I'm supposed to tell you your MRI is fine. So I continued to be on the medication. He never told me that I lost my license, and I was about to drive my 10-year-old to a hockey game. And when he was talking to me, I was turning at the front door, going into my grand mal seizure. And he called 911 because my husband was out of town working. So the ambulance came, and basically, I got taken to emergency. And I came out of it, it takes me 40 minutes to come out of a grand mal, which isn't epileptic. So when I came out, there was another neurologist, thankfully not the one I normally would go see. He read my MRI, and he was the one that told me that I had hippocampal sclerosis. So I'd never been told. And so my front left side had been going away for quite some time. So anyway, so full circle, it took 9 months, but they had removed my front left side of my brain. And, it'd been going on for probably all my life, something small that had been growing forever. And it was a major eye opener on what can happen here in Canada. I mean, it was bizarre that a doctor just said, you have your epileptic, deal with it. And for 9 months, I was on a medication that I should have never been on. And it blew my mind that also could have probably caused me to, die, because I was having grand mals in my sleep as well. So fast forward, I ended up having an 8.5-hour surgery, and I had a 6.something% chance of speaking properly. And, and I woke up after the surgery, and, first thing, I am from Alberta, so I like to swear, but that's a little secret, just saying. And I woke up to my husband waiting for me to wake up, and I said, I dropped the F-bomb. So, yay, I was okay. And, and that was the start. And, honestly, I always believe that, the glass is always half full, and we just take it and we move on. And, and again, I did put in with the, I made, I continued to move on with everything being positive and where I was going to go. And then I got back into the film industry after COVID. And that's when, with what Deb introduced, which you follow your dreams, you continue to move on with where you want to go and where you want to be. And like I said, that was a huge eye opener, because over COVID, I also, recovered from the brain surgery. I decided, where do I want to go? What do I want to do? And again, as much as I loved Vancouver Web Fest and the festival, I also wanted to continue on with where I could go with the recovery of the brain surgery. So it was an eye opener to where I could go and what I could do with the rest of my life, because I survived it. So it was actually a pretty amazing, I don't know what to call it. Again, I guess it was just a dream that I never thought I could get to until I had no choice afterwards, because I was like, oh, I can move on and I can follow my dreams, because I'm still here. So it is a pretty cool thing that I can, I could do what I could do.
Wow. That's so, first of all, thank you for sharing. the transparency and your journey. And I think that we could encapsulate so much from what you just said. And we're all so grateful that out of your mouth came anything.
Yeah.
And good for you. Good for you. I'm sure the doctors were like, right on, you know, nice big check mark. And so what was it like a little bit? We talk about this being your second act. We talk about your peanut butter moments where you stop and literally have, you know, and you I love, well, I mean, you're, I'm sure, a prolific script writer or reader. And you talk about this next act in your life that you are doing right now. And what was that like to move through from a mindset standpoint? Like, you know, that's a big deal. And, you know, you decided you wanted to move in a different direction. Did that require you to obtain new skills? Did you have to bring somebody on in that support team? Like, what was that like for you to make that move?
I believe it was like, you know, like because being in with the Vancouver Web Fest for so many years, I met so many contacts. So that was important. And the people I'd worked with for so many years, but it was also about believing in myself. Like, what do I know? Do I believe in myself enough to continue on? And because I'd gone to the MIP TV, MIPCOM, NATP, which I'm going down to Florida for in February, but it was like, what do I know? And I actually know way more than I ever thought I did. And it was about all the people that I had at the festival and that I had supported over all those years. It's like I didn't believe in myself that I actually knew that I could actually do it. And it's like I gave myself a pat on the back saying, you just survived brain surgery, an 8.5-hour surgery. And then you only had a 6.5% chance of speaking after the brain surgery because I'm right-handed and it was my left side. And I was like, wait a second, just go, just do it. And I was like, I can do this. I can follow my dreams. I always wanted to do it, but it was like, now I just do it. It wasn't about can I, it was just do it. And so, and plus because of the people I know in the industry, any questions I have, I phone them or I connect with them or I get together with them or I work with them. Like some of them I'm working with now. And so it was just a matter of believing in yourself and following your dreams. And if you have any, I'm going to say it again, if you have any hiccups, just have some peanut butter, like, because that's the thing. It's like, there's always going to be a hiccup in life, whether it's just about, but no matter what, believe in yourself. And that's been huge to me, is like, don't second guess, like, oh, can I do it? Just, yes, you can. And that's always been a huge thing. And I think that's always what I've believed. I've always believed in myself anyways. And sometimes we second guess and we always think, oh, can I do it? And I think no matter what, I think everybody's had that ability to think someone's better than them and the other person's going to get the job. Oh, and over the years, when I did go in for job interviews back in the day, like working in an office, which, oh, thank God, I never got, because I did work in the office for a bit and that sucked, 9 to 5. Like, I'm not a 9 to 5er, and I was always, but then I always thought, oh, I wasn't meant to be in that, even back in the olden days, way back in the olden days, I always believed, oh, I wasn't meant to be. And so that was, the universe or whatever looking out for me, so yeah, so always believe, like, again, believe in yourself. And I've always followed my heart and the higher, self of saying, oh, just keep on going, keep on following what you want to do. And again, just, I wake up positive, I go to bed positive, always, whether you believe in sayings or, if you've got sayings or something positive or whatever, say them when you get up, say them when you go to bed, and say them throughout the day,
Yeah. Honestly, and so many of us, we have our peanut butter. I mean, for me, it's, listening to a song. For you, it's peanut butter. I think it's great to have an indicator, like, oh, I just need something, whatever it is. Some people go out in the balcony and breathe. Some people just go walk in nature for a few minutes. It doesn't take long to do that. And, good. I mean, I don't want to say good on you. I want to say, wow. Like, that was a small percentage. And here's the interesting thing. Thank you for recognizing that in yourself, Because look at the room, look at the rooms we sit in, look at the people we talk to, look at the stories we hear, and then they're afraid to branch out and build a new division, or they're afraid to tell someone in their life that's not serving them, I don't really want to hang out anymore. And you're like, can I just tell you who I see? Like, oh, you did this, or you got this, or you braved up for this, and we talked about it yesterday. You were with us yesterday when we were like hashtag borrow bravery. It's very interesting that the different parts of ourselves, we can be so competent and confident in some areas, and in some areas we don't even really borrow it from ourselves, right? And I think it's perfectly fine to recognize that and have external, external support, like you are in your industry, of how you can go to places. And I think that that's very important, to support ourselves, or to be in those circles, whether it's digital or not, right? And we got forced into a digital world and relationships, but some of the best relationships that you can have, or people that you can talk to and move through those changes in life with, can be exactly what we're doing here, right?
Well, and one of the things that I did, well, prior, my background is I got a psychology degree too. And one of the things that I believe in, and I've worked with, I volunteered with kids at risk for 20 years. And again, it's about giving back and helping. And in Vancouver, you work with, well, the women work with girls and the men work with the boys. And again, it's about paying it forward and helping the girls. And so, for whatever reason, they didn't want to work with, everyone wanted to work with like 6-year-olds to 12-year-olds, but no one wanted to work with the teenagers. So I picked the teenagers because, oh my God, it take me back in time, so because it's like, I remember being a teenager and I love the teenagers. And again, if you can take them and you can be with them and help them move forward and show them where life can be, and explain to them that you can be your own individual person, and take with you, like they can take with them into the future, and not to blame their family, but to understand their family and how and it can help build them into a stronger person, and separate themselves from that and become a better person and a stronger person, but not blame their family. And so what I did with my psychology degree and working with girls at risk for 20 years, I helped them understand that they can become better people as teenagers. And yeah, and anyways, it's been an amazing time to work with kids at risk for 20 years. So I've been a volunteer with the girls here in Vancouver, where I could, get them through to the next, stage in their lives. And it's been an amazing journey for a lot of these girls that, some of them just were picked up for stealing. Some were in stolen cars with other boys. They stole the cars, and everybody had different. And one of the girls, their mom was a prostitute because their dad put them there to buy drugs for them. I mean, every girl had different reasons that they were in trouble, and where they've come to as adults. Like one of them has become a social worker, another one's worked with other moms that have had difficulties. So they've all really taken off in the world, and it just warms my heart, like where these girls have gone. And so that's another thing I still do with the kids here in Vancouver, the girls, because again, if you can't help them get through a tough time and show them, because and I could tell them, and when I met with them, the one thing that was super cool was of my upbringing too, of where I came from and what I could do. So I could share with them too, but I was more than happy to open up and tell them where I came from and what I could do with them. So, and I said, and it helps, it helps take off into your journey of where you're going to go in your life and how you're going to be successful in everything that you do. And I said, it doesn't matter where you go, what industry you go in, you're always going to be successful as long as you're happy when you go home every night, and have a good sleep. And even if you have to take that peanut butter,
peanut butter. And we're gonna have we were talking about doing a T-shirt of all the hashtags, and there's gonna be one for peanut butter, which is very interesting. No wonder we became friends. I I have a intimate relationship with peanut butter. I've moved to almond butter because it's a healthy.
Oh, well,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know, I know.
I
It's
have
the,
almond milk, so
yeah,
you know.
yeah. Oh my goodness. Thank you for sharing that piece. Thank you for sharing that piece. It's very full circle. Congratulations on everything. I can't wait to see these films be produced. I would imagine that you are a absolute freaking dream to work with. I mean,
Oh, I
behind
love
the
life,
curtain,
so.
right? There's look behind the curtain. If you talk to anyone in film and whatever, there's behind the curtain in every different situation. But could you imagine having you as the exec producer on a film? It would be incredible. And you bring such heart. And I know that that was a big part when we were talking was like the takeaways that you wanted people to really take from today was the recovery from the plot twist, that plot twists happen, that the giving that you do helps instill like even love for ourselves and knowingness and the gratitude, and everything has just been full circle for you. And I'm so glad. So
Thank
glad.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the art of rewriting my life. You know what I mean? It's like, how can we keep on keeping on? And and I believe everyone just has to focus and believe in themselves. And that's what I've always believed in myself. And no matter what, we can just do it. And I've always given back and tried to help people in any way I can by helping them believe in themselves, because I've always believed in myself. So, and I always want to tell anybody, however I can help them, I do. And I would, and that's one of the things that I'm giving back with my talk today is anyone who wants to get a hold of me, I would love to talk to them and help them in any way I can.
Awesome. Well, let's do some hearts and let's do some jazz hands and some very, very big thank yous. I'm going to